If you're concerned about losing your house in case you go into a nursing home, here's 5 reasons not to use an irrevocable trust. Hi, I'm attorney Paul Bernstein of the Bernstein Law Group. In today's video, we're going to address 5 reasons not to use an irrevocable trust in order to protect your home in case you do end up in a nursing home. The first is if you have a long-term care insurance policy and you're a Massachusetts resident and your home is in Massachusetts and the long-term care insurance policy meets some fairly minimal requirements and you otherwise qualify for Mass Health or Medicaid to pay the nursing home expense, you would not want to put that house in an irrevocable trust. The reason being, in Massachusetts, having this long-term care insurance policy protects the house as long as you fill out a Medicaid application correctly. If you put the home in the trust, you've lost this great opportunity that's afforded in Massachusetts to protect the house just with these minimal long-term care insurance policies. That would work against you in that instance. So that's the first reason not to put your home in an irrevocable trust. The second reason is if you have a large IRA or retirement plan. The reason you wouldn't want to put your home in the trust in that instance generally is there's no reason to protect the house. You're going to have to use up all that retirement plan paying the nursing home before the house is even exposed to losing it to the nursing home. Why is that? Well, because you have a large IRA, you'd be able to private pay for a period of time, using up all that IRA before you'd even qualify for Mass Health or Medicaid to pay for the nursing home care cost, putting your house at risk. If you wanted to transfer that retirement plan, whether it's an IRA or 401k, to protect it and the house if you ever go into a nursing home, the moment you transfer that policy, the IRS treats that as if you've withdrawn the funds and you have to pay income tax on it, which if it's a large enough IRA could put you in the top income tax bracket and you could end up losing some 40% or so of that IRA to income taxes before you even are concerned about the nursing home issue. So if you have a large IRA, have to look carefully at whether it makes any sense to even put the house in an irrevocable trust. Probably doesn't. The third reason is you have enough wealth to private pay. If you have too much money in the government's eyes, the government won't pay your nursing home bill if you have and the house won't be at risk. So if you've done well, you've accumulated a fair amount of wealth, understand you'll be able to private pay and the house will never be at risk. But you certainly want to meet with an attorney that focuses in on this area and can analyze whether you do have enough to private pay and what the ramification would be to do nothing. But we meet with a lot of people that have this concern but have a significant amount of assets, a lot of whether that's investments or cash or what have you, that they can private pay. So that's the third reason not to put your house in an irrevocable trust. The fourth reason is if you have a very, very small number of family members or trusted friends. And the reason for this situation is when you put the home in an irrevocable trust, you shouldn't be trustee. Someone else would be, and typically that would be a family member. And you're relying on that family member to have indirect access to the funds and the property in the trust. If you only have one child, no other family members, then putting that home in the trust and relying on that one child is pretty dangerous. If that relationship between you and that child fractures and you're not on good terms, you might be putting yourself at risk. Or God forbid something happens to that child. The child becomes incapacitated or passes away. Once again, you've lost that indirect ability to access the trust property. And don't forget, you are only putting the house in the trust to make sure that there's an inheritance for your family in case you go into a nursing home for an extended period of time. So you wouldn't want to put yourself at risk if you only have, let's say, one family member that would be able to serve in this trustee role and be the beneficiary. Probably doesn't make sense in that circumstances to transfer the house into the trust, putting too much risk on you for doing that. And the third reason is you just don't feel comfortable giving up direct control by putting the home in an irrevocable trust. We can build in a lot of flexibility within these trusts, but at the end of the day, you should not be the trustee. You're giving up control, and you're just not comfortable doing that. And the reason you're doing it, once again, as I mentioned earlier, is just in case you go into a nursing home for an extended period of time and you want to make certain there's an inheritance for your family members or beneficiaries. Some people are just not comfortable giving up that control, and that's perfectly fine. So in that circumstances, we probably would not want to put the home in an irrevocable trust. So there are 5 reasons to consider not using an irrevocable trust to protect your home against nursing home taking it, as we hear frequently from people. I hope you found this information informative. If you have any further questions or you'd like to hear a different topic, feel free to reach out. Thank you.